Hi, my name is Josh Trudell. I'm here to talk about Dennis Rodman. I'm sure a lot of you know who he is. He's a great basketball player, one of the greatest of all time, played on one of the greatest teams of all time. But I'm here to talk about things he did off the court. So, Dennis Rodman was born in Trenton, New Jersey. His father figure, never really in the picture. He grew up as the only man in the house. He was taught independence at a really young age and looked after 3 girls. After graduating high school, he worked as a janitor at an airport, and after being dared to steal 15 watches, he was arrested overnight. After being arrested, he learned that all actions have consequences, and this consequence was his mother kicking him out. After living on his own, he was noticed at a rec league by an NAIA coach at Southeastern Oklahoma State, where he then played basketball. Unlike many NBA players, he never played at a D1 school, and playing NAIA really taught him to be humble when playing. While he was playing at college, he was a coach for Little League. He met a little kid named Brian Rich, and over time the two formed a really strong friendship. Brian had been dealing with some mental health issues. He had been dealing with a lot of guilt because he was in a hunting accident which killed his best friend. At the time, Dennis Rodman was starting to get noticed by NBA scouts and was gaining a lot of popularity, so he used his platform to raise awareness to young people's mental health and help Brian Rich overcome his guilt about his best friend. After this, Brian's family took him in, and after Dennis Rodman was failing to pay rent, he basically lived with his family until he was drafted. After being drafted, he maintained his humble mentality after playing at an NAIA school and was really soft-spoken his first few years in the NBA. After a few years though, he kind of broke out of his shell. He was known for these crazy hairstyles and crazy pregame outfits. And in an interview, a podcast with Graham Bensinger on Spotify, he talks about all the harsh criticism that he received from these styles, and he said he was just being himself and he inspired others to be themselves as well. He was an inspiration to a lot of people, and he was an activist about individualism. He wanted everyone to be themselves without anyone telling them who they could or could not be. After playing the league for a few years, he was known for being on one of the greatest teams with Michael Jordan, but after being in the league for a while, people really knew him for his weird friendship with Kim Jong-un. This is a really weird fact about Dennis Rodman, but Ben Dorfman, the author of Descent, has an entire chapter devoted to how unlikely this friendship is and how significant it actually is. So he talks about how Kim Jong-un and the U.S. have been in a Cold War-esque conflict where we haven't really had any physical conflict, but there has been nuclear talk, and he explains how the importance of Kim Jong-un's friendship with a random American kind of relieves tensions and could ultimately save the U.S. So, while a lot of people see Dennis Rodman as a great NBA player, there's so many things that he did off the court which makes him an amazing person as well. Thank you.